Hello, everyone. It's Jonas Lamas here with Tezos Community, and we're back in business of making Tezos Today videos. It's been a little while since I produced my last one. A lot of things have been going on in the Tezos world, as many of you know. But today, I wanted to talk about one specific topic, and that is this group called TCF, the Tezos Commons Foundation. It's a group that stood up a couple months ago and has hired a full-time operations director by the name of Sam Harrison. And I've got Sam on the line here who's going to tell us all about what's going on. So everybody say hi to Sam. Sam, say hi to everybody.
Hello, everybody. Very excited, Jonas, to be on Tezos today. I'm a huge follower of your work and you on Twitter as well as on the YouTube. So very excited to be here.
Awesome. Great. So Sam, the number one question on people's minds, I think, is what exactly is TCF? There was an announcement recently from the foundation about TCF. Can you tell us, what is this organization all about?
Yes, TCF is, of course, an acronym that stands for the Tezos Commons Foundation. It's an organization that has been stood up by the community, for the community. It has a handful of main goals that it's looking to accomplish. And, you know, first and foremost is the growth and the engagement of the community. Tezos is well known in the cryptocurrency space and in blockchain space in general as having one of the best, if not the best community. And it's very exciting to be part of that. So what we're going to do to help grow that is we fund and we organize and we facilitate meetups and the community getting together in a flesh and blood sense. It's not just, you know, on Reddit and on Riot and on Twitter, but really getting together, opening up some beers and talking about blockchain and talking about Tezos. And really getting together to do that. The other thing that we're working on for TCF is to fix one of the biggest bottlenecks we have in the ecosystem, right? So as we know, Tezos is coded through OCaml, and those smart contracts are running through Michelson, which is fantastic, and they are really, really good languages, but there aren't enough developers in the space yet. And so what we do for TCF is we help that education. I don't know if you saw, about a week ago, we announced the fact that we were funding an online course to help teach people how Tezos works and how to code. Developed and done by a great organization called Zastrin. And so that's what TCF is. It helps the community grow, and it helps the community become more educated and really, make Tezos, take off and go to the absolute moon.
Awesome. Thanks, Sam. Well, I can say we because I'm actually one of the members of the TCF board of directors, but TCF has a 7-member board of directors, sort of mirroring the foundation. And we were essentially elected by a group within Riot. There was a very active group of about 75 to 100 people that had a Riot discussion group called, eventually was called TCF. And we took nominations and had an election there. And that's kind of where the 7-member board came from. And then the board are all volunteers, but the mission is definitely a full-time mission, right? So we recognized that we needed to bring on board a full-time person to manage through both the operational aspects, the marketing aspects, and somebody who can get out there and be the face of the community with the rest of us and the rest of the TCF group on Riot. And so, Sam, we found you, and you came on board in June to champion that. Why don't you give us a little bit about your background and what got you interested in being a part of the team?
Sure, of course. Well, so I am a veteran of the Silicon Valley. I came out to the Silicon Valley for the first time in probably 2004 was my first engagement there, working a variety of higher education projects at Stanford University. I then attended law school and business school there in Silicon Valley. And after that, I got thoroughly engaged in sharpening the skill set that I needed to survive in this cutthroat world. So, I worked in the back office of a brokerage for a little while, really getting to know my Excel spreadsheet super well. And then I got involved in a little bit more of the client-facing side of software. I worked very closely with a multinational cybersecurity company to help stand up their US-based distribution. And that was a great experience. It was really kind of an opportunity to be part of a small startup inside of a larger multinational organization. And it did well. I was very excited. Then from there, I was recruited over into one of the pioneers in the authentication space. This great company called Knock Knock Labs that I worked at for a while, for about 4 years. And there I did a lot of things. I was kind of a jack of all trades. I helped run operations. I helped do business development. I helped do marketing. It was really a great opportunity and experience for me to really get my fingers and get my experience in a lot of different areas. While I was there, one of the very interesting things about the authentication space is this idea of identity. And while I was there, I started learning more and more about how people are trying to use identity on the blockchain. Projects like Vinnie Lingham's Civic comes to mind. And so I got invested in what the blockchain does and what the blockchain could be. And like many people in this space, fell down the absolute rabbit hole, really discovering the power that this distributed ledger technology could possibly have. Then some kind soul that I was working with dropped a white paper on my desk and said, if you like blockchain, you got to hear about this Tezos thing. I read it, and that was love at first sight, to borrow a cliche. And really, the thing is, as you watch an ecosystem evolve, you can see multiple generations of that technology. You can see Bitcoin as generation 1. You can see Ethereum as generation 2. And then you can see the fact that both of those generations have their flaws and have kind of the things that could kill them at the end of the day. And Tezos comes along and solves a lot of those problems, right? It has a lot of things that it talks about in its white paper as solving those issues in such a way that you knew that Tezos was going to be, one of those technologies that will revolutionize the entire space. So I got invested then. I participated in the fundraising back in June, about a year ago, June and July a year ago, and have been an ardent advocate of the technology ever since. Awesome.
Yeah, well, we're lucky to be able to pull you out of Knock Knock Labs there and have you work full time for us. I think there's a secret story that makes you one hop away potentially from Satoshi Nakamoto, if I'm not mistaken. What's the story there?
The story there is the CEO and president of Knock Knock Labs is a really, really smart guy named Phil Dunkelberger. And Phil Dunkelberger's prior job was CEO of PGP. For those of you in the space who know PGP, they were there. It was an amazing encryption company that really revolutionized the industry. Where one of their employees was this brilliant man named Hal Finney. Now there is a very, very firm argument for the idea that Hal Finney was in fact Satoshi Nakamoto, and I screenshotted. I took screenshots of that argument when it popped up on my Facebook feed. That a lot of the initial cypherpunks all came out of their time there at PGP, and so there's who knows who Satoshi is. I think that's a question that will go down in infamy as one of the greats. But there's a very, very firm argument that it could have possibly been this great man of mind of Hal Finney.
Yeah, great. Okay, so back to TCF. So there was a recent announcement that the Tezos Foundation is providing funds to community organizations, including TCF. Can you peel that a little bit for us and let us know what kind of funds are you getting, or what are they going to be used for?
Right. So kind of what I alluded to early on is we have 2 or 3 really main purposes of what TCF does. Number one is we want to get out there and we want our community to meet other members of our community, and we want that community to grow. Blockchain lives and dies on its network effects, right? No one wants to be the Friendster or the Netscape or the MySpace. Everyone wants to be the Facebook of the future, right? And so the communities and the people who operate and work on the Tezos blockchain are the number one vital things about the chain. People always say you can fork the technology, but you can't fork the community. And that's what we do really, really well. So TCF is responsible. One of the things that we do is fund these meetups. Like you mentioned, it's a very young organization. We've only been around operational for maybe about 6 weeks. But we have 12 meetups in the books right now that we're working on sponsoring and standing up. So over the course of the next month here in July, before the end of the July, we're going to have 4 meetups around the world. We're going to have another 4 scheduled in August, and another 4 scheduled in September. And that's only the first wave of these meetups. We will, of course, be able to fund one-off ones here and there as they pop up. But the idea here is that we are trying to structure these meetups in such a way that they're easy to do, that they're quick to do, that any Tezos fan, any, as I call them, Tez heads out in the universe can say, hey, Sam, I want to put, 10, 15, 30, 50 people together in a bar in Phoenix, Arizona. Help me out. And I can say, okay, we got that. We got your T-shirts. We got your stickers. We got your magnets. We got your socks. We got your backpacks. We got all this stuff to make you feel like a really great Tez head. And we'll ship them out to you. And then we can fund that meetup. So we have that aspect.
And what about like curriculum or materials that they could use to present at the meetup?
So that's one
guide on how to do it.
Yes. So we have what I refer to as our Tezos Meetup Quick Start program, right? That I ship out and I send out that says, okay, when you're looking at doing a meetup, here are the handful of things you should think about. Let's think about venue. Let's think about your audience. Let's think about what the program is. Let's think about how do you get people there? What's the communication you need, the meetup or the Eventbrite link that you need to have. So all of those various different things, as well as some minor logistics about, okay, let's make sure we're not doing this in somebody's basement so that you don't break your mom's favorite vase. Let's make sure that that's done someplace that's bonded and licensed, so to speak.
Appropriate for
yes.
for Tezos, yeah.
Yes, yeah. So we do that. So yes, that exists, and we help people do that.
Awesome. And in addition to meetups, talk to us about the announcement you made funding some educational initiatives.
Right. So one of the things that is fantastic about Tezos, it has these great new languages that it's working in. It has Mikkelsen, it has OCaml. But the drawback of these fantastic languages is the fact that we don't have a massive developer pool to pull from for the various different projects we want to build on Tezos. So to help inspire that, to help drive that, a project like Zastrin and other projects in that same vein are being developed and funded by TCF so that people who are interested in building projects, people who have a skill set or an interest, will have a very easy way of accessing that education. It starts with somebody like Zastrin, which is an online course, and it could reach the stage of, a variety of a Coursera or Udemy course, or courses at universities or hackathons, or any variety of easy to access educational tools that you might need. Like I said, we're 6 weeks old, so we're still developing these processes, but they're coming. And this is part of what the Tezos Foundation funded TCF to do, was to help stand up these initiatives.
And if I read that not only TCF got funding, but there are other community organizations that are getting funding too.
That's correct. So in that same announcement, Tezos Korea and Tezos Japan were also funded. And this is in line with what Tezos Foundation's principle and their strategic plan is they're going to be setting up a bunch of these foundations all around the world. So, when if you're in Japan and you're looking for funding to do these projects, Tezos Japan is your localized source of information and material. For example, my quick start guide, it's written in English. But if you need something in Japanese, you can go to Tezos Japan and they'll help you out. Same thing with Tezos Korea. And the only reason that TCF and Tezos Japan and Tezos Korea were just the first 3, it's because we were organizations that were already in existence. If you are in Brazil, or if you are in South Africa, or if you are in the Ukraine and you want to stand up something like that, get in contact with us. We can help you work through the process, and we can help you present that to the Tezos Foundation.
Awesome. So wrapping up here, to get in contact with you, how do people get involved? What should they go read and do and see?
Right. Read and go, do and see. So if you're in the Seattle area this weekend, I'm not sure, Jonas, when we're posting this, but on July 21st in Seattle, we have a meetup. So you can search for Seattle Tezos meetup and find the link there. In Boston on the 26th of July, we have a meetup. In the Philippines, in Cebu City, on July 29th, we have a meetup. There'll be a meetup in Munich at the end of July. The venue is going back and forth on whether or not it's going to be the 30th or 31st, but we'll be having a meetup in Munich. So watch the Twitter handle of Tezos Commons. That's at Tezos Commons, and we'll be announcing those meetups on a regular basis. Follow us. Follow us on LinkedIn. We're also getting professional and reaching outside of the Reddit chat rooms, but you can see us on LinkedIn as well. And we'll be announcing all of those things. If you want to reach out to us individually, feel free to email us at info@tezoscommons.org, and I will be happy to answer those emails and facilitate any questions you have. We have a great website too.
Yeah. What about you online? Where can people get a hold of you directly?
Oh, of course. So my Twitter handle is XTZ Accelerated. I've always been a huge fan of the Tezos project and always believe that this whole project will be able to bootstrap itself and accelerate very, very quickly. So you can follow me there. You can also find me on LinkedIn and reach out to me there as well.
Cool. All right, Sam. Well, thanks for popping in here and helping me restart the Tezos Today videos. It's been a while since I put one out, but now that the network's launched and the baking process is starting here real soon, I hope to be able to produce these regularly. So thanks again, Sam. We will see you around the world at Tezos meetups during the fall of 2018 and 2019. And we would love everyone to be involved. Hey, everybody, if you would like to have a meetup in your hometown, if you'd like to help Sam organize one, you can fill out a form that is available directly off of the Tezos Commons website, right? And so the website address, Sam?
It's www.tezoscommons.org. And then at the top, there's a navigation button for grants, and the meetup application is on that page. Just scroll down to the bottom, and it's right there.
On the grants page. Great. All right. Thanks, everybody. We will be posting some more of these updates regularly. And everybody have a great weekend. We'll see you soon.
See you soon, everyone.